Oh
my goodness, JT, the podcast, it's time for the podcast. Oh my goodness, okay.
These are either podcasts. Hi. Where are my glasses? Oh, there they are. I need to fix my hair.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't even have my dinner. Do it later.
I mean, you can't really. Yeah. All right, you ready? What's up, you guys? It's JT and Gio. Welcome back to, I believe, the fourth episode? The fourth episode of the Gio and JT Under 30-Minute Podcast. Cue that theme music when you're done.
Gio, JT, no clones, get out of here, clones. JT, Gio, until 30 minutes. I did it differently.
Now, I will say, in the last episode, we were like 1 second off, 29:59.
We were on. So okay, on the YouTube recording it's 30 seconds, but the official recording's like 29:59. So this time we will do better.
Yes, we will.
I've made a mistake.
Oh no?
I put food in front of me. Move that over there. No. So Gio, you're talking about wrestling today, correct?
Of course. Always.
So, if you guys don't know, Gio talks about wrestling. I talk about film. Then we try to recap each other to the best of our abilities without using our phones.
I'll do it again. Look, I'll do it. Oh, look, QR codes.
Go away, QR code. Go away. Yes. We start with Gio, then we go to me. This podcast is meant to be under 30 minutes, so we take 11 minutes per person. So yeah.
Alrighty.
So, whenever you're ready to start.
I'm always ready.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so I'm just going to start off by saying that in the last episode, JT asked me a very, very important question. Is wrestling rigged? And not just WWE, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor, AAA, the list goes on. But the answer is yes and no. But before we get into that, I want to address something else very important. And yes?
How is it both?
I'll explain. Let me get something out of the way first. Just a little recap here. I don't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, or however long it was. On Monday Night Raw, we saw Adam Pearce get a crate, like a human-sized crate. And it said do not open till 2/28/26, which is the date of the Elimination Chamber. He actually didn't want anything to do with it, so we actually sent it over to Nick Aldis. And R-Truth was the one who was like, he realized, hey, that's the date of the Elimination Chamber. R-Truth's a big goofball, but he has his moments. So obviously it's probably going to be a person. Now, obviously, they won't have them in there, just keep them in there all the way until Elimination Chamber. That'd be pretty freaking crazy.
They would probably be dead.
Yeah, they'd probably run out of air.
I mean, if it's a wooden crate, they probably would still have.
Well, yeah, it's a wooden crate.
If it's probably a wooden crate.
So there might be crap.
They'll still have air.
But anyways, I'm saying they're not actually going to keep them in there that whole time. They're going to probably put them in there the day of recording, revealing what it is. But I have 3 guesses of who I think it could be. Now, I know I said that Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho could and will hopefully most likely return at WrestleMania. But with this crate involved now, things have changed. It could be a recovered Seth Rollins coming back from injury. It could be a returning Chris Jericho from AEW.
I'm going to interrupt you. Honestly, Seth Rollins might be my favorite one you've talked about so far.
Just because I've been talking about him so much?
That and I root for a guy who's gone through an injury.
Yeah. But some people are even saying it could be Vince McMahon, the former owner of WWE. But Here's who I
John
hope
Cena.
it is. All right. How many times do I have to tell you he's retired? He's not coming back. He's done.
Fine.
He's not like Shawn Michaels, who said he was retired and then is going to come back for that one last, paycheck. But anyways,
or Elton John.
I can't relate. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know who Elton John is?
No, I know who he is. I know who he is. I just don't know the situation.
I'll explain to you after the episode. People who know Elton John, you know what I'm talking about.
But even though, okay, so I'm gonna say, I know I just said, John Cena is not coming back because he is retired. Well, this person who I want to come back is retired. Maybe not to wrestle, maybe just to spectate or something. Maybe it will be the legendary Sting. Okay? Sting is an absolute legend in TNA, WWE, and especially WCW, who is no longer a company anymore, because WWE bought them out. And so Sting, maybe he'll be the one. But back to the question, is WWE rigged? And I answered you by saying yes and no.
Yes.
So how is it rigged, but how is it not rigged at the same time? That's a great question, Gio. Thanks for asking. Aw, you're welcome, man. Okay, what am I doing? It is scripted out and planned who's going to win. Like, they have a script. It's going to say,
so it is
like
rigged.
For example, yes, but it's also very real. So, for example, let's say you and me were in the WWE, all right? It'd have Gio and JT match, all right? It would have their wrestling match. And then, like, maybe on the side or whatever, it would say, like, Gio wins or JT wins. And then it would have, like, a promo with, it would say so-and-so does their promo. The person who does that promo would, have to, like, come up with their own, I think they would have to come up with their own lines. And while WWE is rigged, wrestlers have to come up with their own matches. What I mean by that, I mean, you might be thinking, since it's rigged to, who they have it rigged who will win, you might be thinking that there's like a specific, coordinator or person that goes, okay, so you have to throw this punch, and then you're going to block the punch and do a whole bunch of stuff. Not how it works. Usually wrestlers will come up with, the one wrestler will come up with like the beginning of the match, another wrestler will come up with the end of the match, and then maybe they'll meet in between or something like that. And they'll even, a fun fact, they'll even give certain hand signals in the match to whether they want to do a move or not. Dolph Ziggler, for example, he's a great example. One of the big ones is with him doing his finisher, the zigzag, with one of the main ones, Batista. When he would get up and do that, like he would like jump on him, and
I know that, man.
If he tapped your back, that means you were going down and he was going to do the move. If he didn't tap your back, the move wasn't going to happen. Someone was going to get you out of it. You were going to reverse it. He was going to reverse it, something like that. But there are also, some other ways. Like I believe Randy Orton, like when he does, I forgot what it's called, but it's some type of slam that throws you against the ropes. He claps and then slams you. If he doesn't clap, he's most likely not going to do the move. But that's just kind of, a little bit of it. So that was answered the yes portion. Now, what about the no portion? What do I mean? I think I answered it incorrectly by saying yes and no. I think what I meant was that WWE is rigged, and other companies obviously, but it is very, very real. The impact, the pain, everything they have to do, to get ready for that match. Everything, pumping iron backstage or whatever, everything's very real.
That stuff is real. I can understand that. But the story and the matches, like, they're all rigged from the beginning.
The storyline, yeah. The storyline is, they have it, planned out, what's going to happen. The matches are rigged, but also, even though it's very real, it's still, like, they still, don't want to seriously injure their opponent. So you'll see, some like one wrestler's punches might look more real or more fake than the others because let's do chair shots. Hulk Hogan, for example, may he rest in peace. He wasn't the greatest at giving out chair shots. Yeah, he wasn't. To be honest, his look did look pretty fake, and I would say older wrestling in general looked pretty fake. Wrestling nowadays, I would say, definitely looks more real. Um, but there are times where they'll like something will happen. Like for example, I believe it was a TLC match where I don't remember who was in it or whatnot, but Sheamus fell on top of a ladder, and while those ladders, like what?
A guy fell on top of ladders.
Okay.
You got
so there's a bunch of okay, 2 minutes back. Let me speed run. There's a bunch of different weapons: tables, ladders, chairs, sledgehammer, sometimes even stop signs, trash cans. Trash cans are the safest because trash cans and ladders are, I think they're made out of the same material. Don't quote me on that. They're made out of thinner and weaker material than an actual trash can or an actual ladder would be made out of. That way, it doesn't impact the wrestler as much, or it can break easier. I don't remember what else I was gonna say. Oh, right. There was a rule. If you accidentally, hit a wrestler, like for real, like for example, a great example of this would be Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar, one of their matches. Braun Strowman accidentally hit Brock Lesnar in the head for real. Or no, he kneed him in the head. Excuse me, he kneed him in the head for real. Brock Lesnar, who, mind you, was an MMA fighter, he got up and beat the crap. He just started punching the crap out of Braun Strowman. But as part of wrestling, WWE, TNA, and all them, if someone gets you, you get them back. And one more rule before I, kind of cut off here. It's about tables. You might notice in WWE that when, like, there's a rule called you put it up, you go through it. The wrestler who puts up the table is typically the one who's going to go through it. Mainly because since they set it up, they know, where it is, how it's like, set up properly, stuff like that. And if the table like breaks or malfunctions or one of the legs isn't set up properly, they'll have no one to blame but themselves. And that's all I have to say about WWE for this episode.
Wow, very educational. I again, by the way, I know nothing about WWE, and I've learned some stuff like Sammy Rig, right?
Zayn. Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. Let's see. I guess it's recap time, baby. I'm very less energetic in this episode. I am sorry. I've had a long day. Anyway, so
honestly, you being less energetic, like it's not much different than regular, because you're a very energetic person.
I just like being kind. Anyway, so WWE is rigged, right? But like it's also not because like it's rigged in the way how everything's gonna go out, but it's not rigged in the fact the way they fight, And it's rigged because all they're trying to do is tell a good story. They're not even trying to see who's best because it's safety reasons. Because if you actually have two people wrestling, well, someone might get hurt very bad, and so they fake it. So like they'll pat themselves or something, or high five at one point, and then all of them set up their own tables. And if they fall while the table they set up, the person who sets up the table is the person who falls on the table. And if the table messes up, then it's their own fault. All right, that's all I got.
I mean, yeah, that was I think that was one of your best recaps so far, to be honest.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is going on the internet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something far more interesting: animated films.
I mean, I don't know if that's far more interesting, but go on.
So, our next animated film we need to talk about: Saludos, amigos, a good greeting for you. Saludos, amigos, the sixth.
This movie was pretty good.
Oh no, it's not. It is the sixth Walt Disney animated feature film. It is the shortest at 42 minutes. So remind you, we had Fantasia. This came out 2 years ago from this day. Yeah.
You say the shortest. Is it the shortest ever or just in that time period? Like shortest
Ever till this
so far?
day.
Ever.
42. Yeah, no Disney film has been shorter than this. But and the only reason this film is counting canons is numbers. Like, you don't get Encanto being their 60th film or Tango being their 50th without Saludos Amigos and our next film. This does have live action bits in it because, as I said last time, remember Walt big in debt and the animator strike was going on, right? Around the time, and so and World War II and all this kind of stuff was happening. Walt or the president was like, hey, Walt, I know you're in debt right now, right? I know you're in debt. I'll send you to South America to Latin and South America to meet up with them. So Hitler, bad dude, doesn't team up with them because that was a real thing. Like, Hitler was trying to convince the South Americans to join the German side. So Walt Disney was like, kind of sent there as basically an American ambassador, to like be, hey, I'm here for you, like basically that. And so like a good chunk of the animators and stuff went down there, and like there's a whole documentary on about this movie, about this trip on Disney Plus called El Guato. El Guato? I think I pronounced that right. I don't not 100% sure. It's basically like they kids would stop the animators in the street and want to draw Pluto, Mickey, Donald. And, well, speaking of Donald, our good friend Donald, he is basically the main character, you could say, of the package era films, which is now the next Disney era we've in. We've left the golden age, no more pristine, no more good films. We're going into films that are just a bunch of shorts packaged together. That's why they're called the package films. So this is the first one, and a lot of these called Saludos Amigos. It has 4 segments: Donald and Lake Titicaca, Pedro the Plane fighting the mountain Aconcagua, Goofy as a South American cowboy, and then Donald meeting Jose Carioca, the best part of the movie. And so this movie was very cheaply made. See, they filmed this 1940s, I believe, because that's when around that time, because the animated strike was going on. So, when Walt was sent there, again, he was sent there as an ambassador. And so basically, how this strike ended, I'll just tell you.
I didn't hear that part. You sent there as a what?
The strike, the animated strike. How it basically ended was, since Walt wasn't there, the U.S. government were like, yeah, well, pay them fairly. So that's the summary of it. That's not everything that did happen, but like Art Babbitt, Art Babbitt. Yep, remember him? He's the guy who stand up for the animators because he was also one of the highest paid. He stand up for the striking animators. He never returned, I believe. And then. But another significance of this movie is it introduced, drumroll please, it made Americans realize, hey, people in South America aren't poor and aren't just living in rags. Like, this is a real thing. And there's an argument you could say that this movie and the second and 3 Caballeros are what's helped them run World War II. Kind of, because they got the South Americans on their side. But yeah, so Walt took a trip. There's not a lot to talk about besides like how the Jose Carioca was actually like they learned a lot of interesting cultures there. The film does not represent it. I don't think it represents it well, but it's fine. It's very boring. Like, it's very interesting talking about like what's happening in the Disney studio around this time, which I did a lot in the last episode. This though, like, yeah, it's fine. You guys see I'm less energetic about this movie. But before we move on, because I have 7 minutes, I think I'll be able to talk about this. We need to talk about a film that came in between Fantasia and Dumbo, The Reluctant Dragon. So, as I said, the animator strike was a big thing. So when that started, there was a movie that came out called The Reluctant Dragon. Now, this is on
Never
Disney
heard of
Plus. Nor has anyone else. I've heard of it because I'm a Disney nerd. So this basically is a movie about a guy trying to pitch a animated idea to Walt Disney. But throughout, what goes through the Walt Disney Studio, which apparently you just can walk in and ask for a tour and don't even have to pay for it. Excuse me, 1940s. He walks in and he learns the process of animation, like I've told you about. It's actually watch it for learning it because it does a great job explaining like why do animated cartoon characters have 4 fingers instead of 5, and other things like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it made Disney look like a happy and joyful place to work at, when that was not true. So,
Oh no.
hold on.
Toxic.
If I can spell, hold on. I'm pausing the timer because I have a lot to talk about. Okay, I have 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Boy, I gotta be quick. So I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I really need to show you guys this animation strike. Animation strike. Okay. The Disney animation strike. I need to show you photos of this because this is this is a big deal. So, as you see, this is the animator strike, and this is one of the many photos out there. There are no strings that the animators would have, and then there's one in particular that I want you to look at, because it is such a interesting one. I personally love it. I love that. Just look at this, man. Like, these are what the animators is like. Walt, we want more money. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? We want security. Don't be an ostrich. Like, you just see all these photos of the animators, and then this is them protesting.
The random Donald.
This is them protesting at the premiere of The Reluctant Dragon because it made Disney look like a happy place to work at, which it really wasn't at the time. Okay, that's all the ones. But there's one specific one I'm trying to look for. But yeah, I mean, that's such a big thing about that. A big thing about this stuff is it had to. I mean, I'm not joking. This was a big deal. I mean, Walt Disney did not.
Yeah.
Now, I think obviously now Disney is part of the guild, the Animators Guild, obviously, but I don't think the guild was. I mean, Walt did join the guild, I believe, after this movie. Double check. After all this stuff. So let's talk about a more happier film. The Three Caballeros. Oh, we have the stars to guide us. Boink. Anyway, The Three Caballeros released in 1944. So, by the way, Saludos Amigos. So, this is the timeline of things. You have Snow White 7 Doors 37. You have Pinocchio and Fantasia 1940. Flop. You have Dumbo 1941. Strike is happening. Reluctant Dragon, early 1941. Bambi, 1942. Saludos Amigos came out a month later than Bambi.
I think I've seen this movie.
Yeah, people have. I mean, this is a much more well-remembered movie. A better movie, I would say. It is surreal. It is insane. And I love it. It's just fun. The R. Quadbird is one of my favorites of all time. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So basically, the Three Caballeros is, well, the Three Caballeros. It is Jose Carioca, Donald Duck, and Panchito Romero. Hold on, Panchito Romero. How do you pronounce his name? I'm looking for his name. Panchito Romero Okay. If I can find it, Panchito Romero. I just feel so bad that I can't pronounce his name because his name is long. It's Panchito Romero. Hold on. You know what? Doesn't matter. So Panchito Romero, Gingero, Quintera. Oh wait, there it is. So his name in the movie is Panchito Pistols, but his real name
Ooh.
is if I is hold on is hold on. I am wasting time here. Okay, you know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So yeah, this movie is much more entertaining, much more surreal, and this talks about Latin America. And
Got it. Got it.
thanks, Gio.
Okay.
Talks about
No?
Latin America instead of South America. So yeah, very much fun. Donald loves women apparently in this movie.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's what I found pretty weird about that
Yep.
movie.
Yep. Moving on. So
Because he's
anyway,
a duck.
we don't talk about this kind of stuff. So yes,
Yeah.
Panchito brings in, and this movie might have introduced the idea of pinatas to the United States of America.
Mhm.
That is a real thing that could have been real, and that's like one of the thoughts that you're just like, okay, I need to lie down for this. Like, wait, a Disney animated film, the seventh one, by the way, introduced that was made in the Goodwill of America deal. That was made because they wanted to defeat the Nazis in World War II. Introduced the idea to Americans of pinatas. Oh, and have you been to Paella? Have you been to Paella? Have you been to Paella? Sequence is fantastic, and of course, we're three caballeros, three gray caballeros. They say we are birds of a feather. We're happy amigos, no matter where he goes. The 1, 2, and 3 goes. We're always together. Of course, I have that song memorized.
GG.
Yeah, it's the lyric, man. I can't help it. It's the lyric.
I think you're losing it a little bit.
I might be. Just like this movie. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I don't have anything else to talk about. I've fully run this entire segment dry. I don't know what else to talk about. I felt like this episode was just like last episode. I actually talked about some meaningful stuff. This episode, I feel like I'm just talking about nothing.
I can understand that because I forgot which episode it was, but I think it was last episode actually. I felt like I was more so rambling on and kind of repeating what I said in previous episodes. But yeah, I get weird. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's just maybe we're doing this too many in two succession.
Nah,
totally not.
nah.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I took my glasses off. That's my iconic theme for the podcast. The glasses are iconic for the podcast. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've had a wonderful evening with us.
Wait! I didn't recap!
Oh! You have 2 minutes. You have 1 minute. Go!
Okay, so basically, something about the three caballeros. Donald Duck likes human women. That's kind of freaking weird, Disney. There was a Disney strike. There were people. Yeah.
What happened?
There was a strike. Disney eventually joined the Guild, I believe it was called. There was
the
one
Animation
before
Guild.
What was it?
Caballero.
That it was called. What was the one before that called?
Saludos amigos.
Yeah, sure. What he said. And
Learn
that one was pretty good.
languages,
Oh, and
brother.
there was one about a dragon that was
The
not
reluctant
very
dragon.
famous. Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Right. Yeah.
we have to say goodbye. Our time has run up. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.